choices for Coach Tic Tac. They want something to shred it with. And now we're hearing the voiceover of Lapu Lapu since they have targeted FLAPTZ on the last 3 heroes from Coach Tac's ban list. So now they're going to be focused on the last possible choice for the gold leader up against the carry. Who are you going to get? If you are Betty Cutie.
Nathan Rogers still out there.
Rogers sounds great. Then again, that is a double-edged sword so far here in the playoffs. Played it so well. Wow, Sanford really dug deep for this Lapu Lapu. Is it a great matchup for the Export?
Not the Export, but I think by
There's the Roger.
He returns
for the carry and the Vex.
The Vex, just to catch them.
And I don't think you don't mind being the one hit with the Detona's Welcome. So it's good. I like it. I like it on 40.
So since this is mostly like protect the back line for
like
Falcons APBREN, yes, Rockart.
It's like their alternative for the Yu Zhong, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a great
Because
way.
there's a Vexana, there's a carry, so you can force something out from the bravest fighter, and then you get a first follow-up from this Novaria. They have been doing so good and utilizing, both of the teams utilize this hero so much in vision and hitboxes. So with the Lapu Lapu being wild in the back line of Falcons APBREN, maybe they want to slow things down a bit, because in game number 1, they have struggled to breathe on how to make things work. Now the Edith, you were mentioned about the Edith, Leo. Now Falcons APBREN gets it for the last time.
And again, not to seem like Falcons APBREN can do no wrong, but I like how they attacked red side here. They played around with the order. They, of course, still let through the Matilda, did not pick it up, ended up getting banned, as it should. But they did not lose sight of what they were going to pick up anyways. The Edith was in the books. It's just they took their time with it. So with that said, I'm feeling better for Liquid Echo's roster. I think Liquid Echo have a better go this time around. But that's not to say that Falcons APBREN also made the most of what was left out for them. I think they picked these first 3 picks very, very specifically is because they know that that's how they're going to stop and quell Liquid Echo's straight up snowballing potential.
Both teams' lineup ratings are quite low, so maybe the what do you call that? The algorithm for this matchmaking doesn't really jive well with these heroes, but you know what? We've seen teams do that previously. Low rating, high chance of winning.
A lot of it relies on mechanics, execution.
Of the heroes itself.
You don't see that in the numbers.
Yup, we'll now check on how this competition will work, either for Team Liquid Echo or Falcons APBREN. It's game number 2. Let's see how Team Liquid could bounce back this time around. Focus and pressure onto Few. Half HP. Aided by Gwen right away. That's the early poke that they can do against this Vexana. Again, once it hits level 4, you have the Eternal Guard with you, and how they can actually rotate effectively with this Edith and this Barretts.
Wow. Interesting that against Falcons APBREN, Liquid Echo puts Benny Cutie in a more aggressive spot. He's not rocking his usual sustainability roster. He's actually going for a snowball. He's rocking Weakness Finder into an Assassin emblem, Assassin custom emblem, and then actually it's Benny Cutie, it's Super Marco with the custom emblem carry. So they're holding out, they're forcing a mid lane,
It's going to be JP going down for first blood.
A mid game.
What?
A mid-game engagement. And the fact that it's Falcons APBREN going much faster does not spell good for Team Liquid.
This is just the mindset of Falcons APBREN to actually be utilized against Team Liquid Echo. Having the missile expert and having that knockup from the Orange Earth Shatter capitalizes more on how JP could stand vision for Team Liquid Echo. What they want to do right now is give vision for this team early on, heading to the first objective of this game. Turtle is up in 4 seconds. Now, Falcons APBREN maintaining control of the river and heading towards this turtle. Now, Carl TZ both on level 4. They're willing to contest. But Eternal Guard being used right away early on.
Quite early Eternal Guard here, forcing Carl TZ back. This could do some damage, but not that much. The JP is in a good angle to maybe make a zone happen, but they're not forcing it. They're really respecting, trying to get as much info, and there goes Sanford, doubled up by the Daytona, and now he's going to go down. But Carl TZ will still be the one to get the turtle. Good fight coming in from Falcon though. A lot of low HPs on the side of the Falcons, but Team Liquid PH can maybe snipe 1 or 2. Yeah, he gets it from downtown. Sanji with 1.
Masterful killer instinct by Sanji for the first 5 or 6 seconds post that team fight, which clearly Falcons APBREN won. They were protecting the low health members that they had. And then eventually Sanji said, you know what, it's over.
Super
I can
Marco.
hit this. Gets it, 1v1!
Oh.
Yeah, the cutie there being
Pressure,
a little bit cheeky. Pressure coming from Carl Teasy. And the force of the flicker out of Super Marco. That is huge. That's one safety factor, one safety mechanism removed from the goal later of FCAP.
Earth Shatter.
Fight's coming in.
Super Marco. He's
Charged
low.
by Calteezy. He's low. He's running. No minions to save him. And the missile expert gets him.
Saved by the bell. Falcons APBREN. Super Marco knew what's coming, flickered out for safety, and that's how the team Falcons APBREN managed to reinforce right away the gold lane, or just reverse the pressure Team Liquid wanted to do.
And because of that, Super Marco now sitting at about 100 to 200 gold ahead of Benny Cutie. And nobody died, honestly. I mean, it was Carl Teasy who died, but neither Benny nor Marco went down. So that means still Super Marco is ahead. Super Marco right now is where he wants to be, and he's denying Benny Cutie the snowball. Check this out, the freeze in the lane. Super Marco down about half the XP to get to level 6. And this is fine. This is fine and dandy. I think, to be fair, Liquid Echo can still find an aggressive spot. And if I'm going to read the map, I think after the turtle fight, they're going to try to get one over Marco again.
Well, speaking of turtle fights, how few manages to land that Eternal Guard first before everything else starts. That's a great way to get vision and also zone out right away. But prioritizing the Necklace of the Runs first, maybe right now he's just completely aiming on to decrease the healing of Team Liquid Echo. And the second turtle is up for taking.
There you go. They started up strong. Sanji again securing that turtle. Knockup is activated by Carl Teasy. They're trying to get as much kills as they can, but Falcons APBREN once more just trying to gauge out their opponent while whittling down Sanford once more.
A perfect landing of the Eternal Guard and the Cursed Touch. Few managing to hold the line and giving the kill right onto Flap Pieces automatically a 3-0 for this X-Borg.
Yep, the late entry from Flap Teasy made all the difference. He did not come in late, he did not come in too early, he came in on time, and that cracks wide open the top lane. Sanji gonna try to do some damage control. I'd reckon maybe 1 or 2 more waves, and that's the top quarter wide open for Falcons APBREN. That'll allow for a smooth lane switch.
Yeah, they're looking for a great way to paint the macro control once again. Stepping up how they wanted to gain advantage early on. This is just purely countering the pressure, even countering vision that JP can do against them. Sanji always managed to hit those Astral Recalls and Astral Echoes, probably just to suffice what JP's vision was missing against Falcons APBREN. So right now, probably, you want to respect the power spike that the team has right now.
Yeah, folks, something to note here, 6 minutes in, the first big item pickup from both junglers is looking like a Brute Force breastplate. From the regular season into the playoffs, that item has seen a astronomical leap in buy frequency, especially for the best gold laners in the league, or rather junglers in the league. So if you have a good chunk of gold and you're a utility jungler, pick up the Brute Force breastplate.
Yeah, you should revamp your item builds.
Gives you everything. Gives you toughness, gives you a little extra damage, gives you move speed, cooldown reduction. What does the Brute Force breastplate not do?
Yeah, if you're thinking about how damage would actually be deflected against Team Liquid Echo,
it even gives you resilience. I almost forgot.
15%.
At max stacks.
A complete recipe for laning for Super Marco.
Look at that. Oh, that's huge, actually. Flicker removed from view. Pretty big here. That might be a signal for Team Liquid VH to do something. They're jumping in. Once more, up in the air is everyone while Carl Teasy takes care of that turtle, but the fight's happening here. Last Savvy activated already. Super Marco in the middle of everything. Carl Teasy's quite low, but it's Sanford who's actually going to fall again.
The casualty
Wow.
of Team Liquid Echo. Sanford got trapped right on point from Falcons APBREN.
That is unfortunate. Sanford sitting at a duck face KDA. And right now, this is the best bet to kill Marco!
Oh my goodness! Bendy Cutie so close to giving Super Marco his full death, but now it's going to be Oakland who is up on front. He still has Primal Wrath if he wants to use it. And the Earth Shatter, the knockup just not hitting their mark. Super Marco! Almost going down, but the backup's here. Fuse dancing it around. Bendy Cutie! That tower is not where you want to play.
just won't die!
He
Just
lives!
won't die. He's the man who can't be killed.
The body block by Ogwin and the clapback from the responding members of Falcons APBREN. I get it. I mean, if you're a Liquid Echo fan, if you're an Orca, you understand that this is what your team is best at collapsing, at aggressive rotations, in game code by the way, and just getting their kills, acquiring targets. Falcons APBREN not allowing for them to play.
Interesting, interesting.
It's just so hard to even use and breathe this line of Team Liquid Echo right now. They're really trying their best to even get a mirror objective
You know what?
across the map rock hard.
I actually understood why Ben Cutie tried to go for it. It's because obviously there is going to be a chance for you to go invulnerable, and then you can kind of just dive out of the turret.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's rocking killing spree, right?
Yep.
But
Yeah.
again, our shutdown on the Marco is key. Just couldn't make happen.
Oh, he got spotted.
There goes the fight. Knock up again. Flappies is a little late to the board, but this time Sanford's the one who gets a kill. Now they're diving it out. Sanford's on the side. Flapteezy has to flicker out. Sanji looking for targets here. Once again, misses this time.
For the first time in this series, 9 minutes into game 2, Liquid get what they want, collapsing onto bottom lane, forcing Falcons APBREN to concede this Lord. I'll say, Liquid got a great trade there.
With the force and also pressure onto the gold lane, Betty Cutie secures the objective. Team Liquid Echo slowly getting back on their feet, heading towards mid-game.
Okay, fair to say, it was an expensive trade, right? I mean,
True that.
Liquid still had some losses on their side, but eventually the conversion into the map and the conversion into that big objective allowed for them to now be in the lead, 1,000 gold ahead.
Yes,
And
this can also take the standing towers.
yeah, even Benny's ahead now by about 200, 300 gold, so that's how quickly the rubber band snaps for Echo, Liquid Echo here, and now suddenly they're putting Falcons APBREN out of their comfort zone. How does Falcons APBREN clap back?
And Carl TZ now slowly getting vision and zone out for Benny Cutie to take this orange away from Falcons APBREN. Looking forward to gain a push, and there's a Lord pushing down bottom. Now finally getting back on the macro game. Team Liquid Echo now finding a pattern to force out resources and defense out of Falcons APBREN.
As we're talking about here, the pressure coming in from all sides because of the Lord take will translate to a lot of goals.
Super Marco.
This time around, Carl TZ fighting it out.
Oh!
Flicker by Super Marco.
He's
What the heck are we seeing here? Still alive, but look at this. The damage is now reduced here from the Falcons.
That was off of a light speed Baksha Unite rotation that caught Supermark off guard. And Carl TZ honestly could have had his way if it wasn't for those pesky members of Falcons APBREN, of course, that big turret.
Okay, DHS on the Super Marco still manages to escape and cheat death at the best way possible thanks to the reinforcement of his team. The positioning, how Super Marco prioritized to shut down the XP lane in possible team fights. He knows what could possibly happen if his position is currently exposed.
Falcons APBREN are denied the activation of Flap TZ. They're also denied the activation of Few with the perfect Eternal Guard. And something tells me, oh, beautiful. Something tells me Liquid Echo have figured out the positioning of Falcons APBREN. They're not allowing Falcons APBREN actually come in where they're comfortable. There's always something else. There's always like a rotation from Carl TZ or a massive, massive Astral Echo from Sanji that says, you know what, let's just reset, let's just retreat. And Falcons APBREN are not comfortable doing that.
And they have all the answers to go the macro game that Falcons APBREN done in game number 1. You have the Astral Echo, you have a way to poke, and we have a way to check where Ogwin or where Flapteezy is coming from. Again, this is the 3-0 on the export. You have damage, yes, but one thing Team Liquid Echo is going up against is the vision game that they can do against Falcons APBREN. They wanted to deplete mostly of their resources and force out Super Marco, but this team really knows how to defend the front line. And once they know where to pressure out Falcons APBREN, Team Liquid Echo just completely wants to outplay everything, even out-sustain the damage. This is still a carry, though, that they need to look after.
In both of these games, it seems that Navarre are just doing so much work. I'm sure they can get these objectives once more.
Yep.
It's the dance on the Lord.
I'll be honest with you, Sanji rarely needs to hit anything but a last hit Shatter, Meteor Shatter, right?
Yep.
Besides that, he's just really there for the vision. These little AoEs, these little slows, sure it helps, but he's mainly there to just stop Falcon APBREN from getting into position, and that's a job well done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're waiting.
Doesn't
They're
need to
waiting,
get kills
JP.
happen here.
Oh.
But there you go. Everyone spotted out once more by the Astral Echo, and now everybody getting hit by the Minoan Fury. And now the dive in. The collapse coming in from Team Liquid. Super duper powerful. And they're diving in on Few. They remove the mage, and they remove a majority of the deaths here. And finally, the first death given over. Sanji inside the base. He's jacking it. Not able to get a kill on the flap, but that's 4 members of Falcons APBREN down for the count.
And all it took was 40, right? All it took was 40, and everything went well for Liquid Echo. They got the amazing, amazing setup with the Astral Echo. They got the collapse, and you know, the icing on the cake, the Lord knocked everyone up alongside the Minoan Fury.
Exactly.
And that's a happy setup for JP. Still was the first person to soak up all the damages from Falcon's APBREN, but with the help of the motivational roar and all the items that he has, he was a complete soak-up sponge to set everything up for Team Liquid Echo.
Real quick question, Leo. Does Astral Echo affect Lord Knockup as well?
Yep.
It does, right?
Yep. Any opposing effects that use your hitbox will be part of that. So yeah, even if they were originally clear of the Lord knockup, you'll still get knocked out because of the Astral Echo
Oh
AoE.
my goodness.
So it's amazing. It does not affect the healing, folks. You might say, oh, so my hitbox is bigger, so I get better heals like from afar if there's like a motivation or no. Only opposing effects.
It's just wonders. Team Liquid Echo using the advantage and timing in that objective taking. Now another turret taken down by Team Liquid Echo. Lord pushing it down bottom. Now the question is, can Falcons APBREN defend with the tools that they have? This is still a carry with the orange. Still wants to capitalize on damage. That's a Lord knocking up. Half HP on the turret. Now they're looking for it to defend this.
Coming into play here, Lord goes down, but the pressure is on. For the first time, we're seeing Falcons APBREN really breaking a sweat here.
Oh, turret down. Defense is slowly being taken away by Team Liquid.
All right, the Falcons, the Bees, they've been put up against the corner, and for the first time in a while, we have to see them claw their way out of a losing situation. And oh, wow, an off angle, full 5-man Echo.
Oh, there it is. We'll see if that's going to take an effect here. One thing's for sure, Carl TC definitely getting knocked up here. But look at JP, he's going down. He has to back off.
Super Marco.
Marco's on the back here. JP going to get taken care of. Still cannot go too aggressive against the Falcon APBREN. We're seeing he's still very fed.
Mind you, that was a forward flicker on Super Marco. So we're at the point where Falcons APBREN are just happy to get whatever they can out of these engagements. And for the first time in, I'd say maybe a minute or two, they're actually out of their base. So this is great for Liquid PH, and this is, again, okay for the Hive. This is the best that they can get away with, the best that they're working with. And so far, 16 minutes in, 6,000 gold ahead. Liquid Echo are looking at 1,000 between Marco and Benny. So that means Marco is still a threat to be reckoned with, even if he has suffered the death already.
I agree. This carry right now, having the Malefic Roar and the Wind of Nature, he is ready to commit everything. Look at the skill hit rate of the Star Shatter. Man, this is 38% win rate, but hit rate rather.
Yep.
But how, again, Sanji maximizes how to poke everyone out from Falcons AP just as that. Manages to spot everyone easily.
All right, to put it into perspective, to put it into context, folks, 38% might not look good, might not look like a big number, but consider this, more than one out of three Star Shatters actually hit.
And Leo, it also it doesn't count the ones he uses to clear the minions.
Yep, so it's always doing something.
It's always doing something.
Sanji is always doing something for what his team has done right now. He is instrumental to every little thing that Liquid Echo is doing to win game number 2, to even the odds and give Falcons APBREN their first loss, their first game loss in all of the playoffs.
Wow, Falcons APBREN told Few to go back and defend. It's just 4 from the Hive and the Falcons. But they got spotted though.
4v5. Knock up with the Lord here.
That's Insanity.
Lap with the That's Insanity here, getting a special damage scan to very cutely, but the knock up, the fight is actually happening around Super Marco. Flicker out by Ogwa, he's fighting, he has a grapple wrap, but Lord goes down. Oh my goodness, Caltese gets it! And now Immortality's getting popped here non-stop for Team Liquid PH, and the chase is on.
Benny! Old school Benny! Look at
Oh! Oh my goodness! Camera.
Oh!
Keep your eyes on the map here.
He goes-
And he shield! And he goes down! Oh my goodness, see, that could have been so bad.
Oh, Lord.
The hit from the Crystal does the work for defense for Falcons APBREN.
All right, there were at least 2 or 3 layers
Too
of
close.
things going sideways for Liquid Echo to have missed out on 2 ways to win.
Oh my goodness.
Number 1, team fight at the Lord did not go their way. Kyle Teasy beat Carl to the punch and Red Tree the Lord at the right time. That's why there is a... I'm sorry, is that an evolved Lord?
It does seem to be.
Yep,
Caltese got it.
It
All right,
is.
So there is an evolved Lord that was secured. Number 2, that back door was not set up well. There was a small wave, and they were not aware of where all the members of Falcons APBREN were. Even if Ben Cutie were to survive, there were 2 members of Falcons coming in the recall anyways.
And that split could have been reinforced. Again, we saw how few went back to base to push that wave up top. Somehow in his heart, he knew what's coming. He knew the capability of Benecute, and they respected the possible split that Team Liquid Echo is known for.
Which is difficult because, again, when you're going on the offense, you don't know unless you have players tracking everyone else from the opposing team. As a defender, you have the waves to check. You have those little heads in your minimap to know where the backdoor is coming from. So that would have been too little too late. It actually could have been devastating for Falcons APBREN. We could have ended the game and not have this conversation at all.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And looking how they wanted to calculate the possible, probably they were kind of like, we need to have a contingency. Just in case, go ahead and clear. But right now, we have a reset minute for these 2 teams to actually do. They have melted the Lord, Team Liquid Echo melted the Lord, and look at the damage difference right now. Despite how tanky they can get, they need to still respect the damage.
All right, I'll tell you this. In that Lord fight, if it was not a scattered fight, if all the members of Liquid and all the members of Falcons were in the same spot, much about like this.
Oh, Flicker!
Oh, Flicker! Shatter committed, but the counter! Astral Recall. Astral Echo is so good. But now the fight is going to be whether or not Benecute can get a good position. Gets 2 already. And Sanford following up. They're cleaning up a lot of members here for Falcon APBREN. Caltese trying to make his way out. So is it's gonna be no Virago Arbor. And that's the last minute effort here. That's a wipe. And that's the game.
The setup by JP! You hear the crowd! Team Liquid Echo, full force portals right onto the Crystal, and now that's how they bounce back to push it to a game number 3.
Even gods can bleed. Falcons APBREN suffer their first game loss in the playoffs. And let me just finish the sentence I was trying to make until JP, you let me finish my sentence, all right?